So we have some interesting development into Hunter Biden laptop in his corruption case. Now, CNN apparently, that's funny. I'm reading The Hill that CNN is reporting, and you're watching a YouTube video of all this reporting. It's like a lot of layers here, but basically CNN is saying that it's very real, a very substantial investigation of potentially serious federal crimes. So what is going on here? I mean, it's really interesting. On one hand, the mainstream media, the corporate media, they completely blocked out the Hunter Biden laptop because they thought, Trump is Hitler, and we got to hush this investigation because it might tip the election towards Trump. So they completely suppressed it, which they lost a lot of credibility as media, as they should, because obviously they're not real like media as far as like real journalists. That real journalists are supposed to, uncover corruption. It's like the David and Goliath. But no, they're protecting the establishment. They're running cover for the establishment or for whatever their political interests. So basically, yes, they lost complete credibility. But why now? So we have New York Times and Washington Post coming out and saying, with the article, maybe this Hunter Biden laptop was correct. Maybe it was true after all. After a year later, now that, Biden is safely has the White House, his laptop, it all checks out. Even though they could have probably checked out, did that within hours, authenticated it. I'm going to propose a theory that maybe they see blood in the water. They see Biden as a really weak presidential candidate, but insiders telling the Democratic in the Democratic Party saying that Biden is delusional and he wants to run again for another term, and they're seeing weakness, and I think they're just gonna pull the ripcord on his presidency. And they're like, you know what? We've been covering for him. We have our cathedral, our Democratic establishment. We have a better chance of getting like Pete Buttigieg or whatever in the next election against Trump rather than running Biden again. So you know what? We're gonna kill two birds with one stone. We're gonna pretend like we're doing investigative news, authenticate the goddamn laptop a year later after it's been like published and discovered, and on top of that, we're gonna start publishing stuff. We're basically gonna sink Biden's presidency just so he doesn't even think about running again because he's so politically wounded. I mean, I think he's gonna be, after this midterm, he's gonna be the lamest of lame ducks. All of his spending, like the video that I did before, explained why any of his big government spending is probably is super inflationary, so complete opposite of what the voters are going to punish them even more for spending for having even like bigger government expenditure. So he's screwed, and then they're really afraid. They are really afraid that after the high inflation of the 70s, you get a Reagan. Like a person like Reagan running and taking power. So they're trying to avoid this Reagan moment. They're trying to mitigate the damage, and I think they're just going to throw him under the bus. And how are they going to do that? Well, it's pretty clear. The Biden laptop. They can actually going to do some real legit reporting on it, and then it's going to sink him. So basically, even The Hill. On Tuesday, Trump took his attack on the Biden a step further, asking President Vladimir Putin to release any damning information the Russian government have had on Hunter Biden. Putin is currently carrying out an invasion of Ukraine that earned widespread condemnation. Oh, that's not the point. Why did the mayor of Moscow's wife give Biden, both of them, $3.5 million? That's a lot of money, Trump said. I would think Putin would know the answer to that. I think he should release it. I didn't of all the, I mean, the complete hypocrisy of it all. I mean, like I said before in my other video about Biden, I don't care that he was addicted to drugs or he was having sex with hookers or whatever. I'm not going to be moralizing here. You know, a lot of people have their own weaknesses. But the Biden wanted to pass like a tax bill where the IRS can snoop into any one of your bank accounts if it has more than $700 worth of transaction of it a year. At the same time, his son is legitimately living off of money laundering. Like, he would get money from all sorts of people from around the world, and he would clean it and just deposit into different accounts. On top of that, he was selling access to power by introducing people to his father, and his father would do things politically on their behalf. So it's rough, man. There's a realistic chance this could result in federal charges. Of course, we'd be unprecedented political territory, not legal territory, but a situation of having potentially the Department of Justice prosecuting and trying to imprison the son of the president. Now, this is interesting. Usually, the FBI and the CIA, during the 2016 election, they're all on Clinton's side, and they're running cover for Clinton because she knew she's a potential, I mean, who the hell is Trump? He's just like, he's a nobody, but the Clinton, that's the establishment. This lady is going to be in power. She has the strings of power, whatever. So they're going to serve their master. And then they dug up all this, fake dirt on whatever, and launched all these fake investigations on Trump. I mean, but the Department of Justice actually trying to prosecute the president's son. I mean, you would think that Biden still has allies and will try to stymie the investigation, but do they see that Biden is just so old that this is his last hurrah? They can throw him under the bus because he's not going to be in charge of them anymore, even if he's going to remain, if he's going to serve out let's say if Biden was young, or Biden had like other family members that was like still in politics, and they knew that they were, they would catch a lot of shit for investigating his son publicly, they probably wouldn't do it. They'd probably sweep it under the rug. But maybe they see Biden as, this is his last. I mean, he's been in office his whole life. This is his last few years in office, and even if he's pissed it off, who cares? He's just a seat-out old man who'll, pass into the, just, go away. So, interesting development. We'll see what happens.